catches reported yesterday, and Brian and I were talking earlier. It's a little different. You see who's on that pitching staff, and you say, wait a minute, where's Kluber? Where's Trevor Bauer? This is what you have. Now, that's not a bad supporting cast here, but you still wonder about those guys, and you wonder how Carlos-Carrasco will last over the year. And he claims to be in pretty good shape. Mike, I thought it was interesting. He sent some videos to Terry Francona to show him his workout schedule and how he's throwing the ball. But
I really like that top three of any way you want to shuffle it, but I would say Clevinger, Bieber, Carrasco, take a little pressure off Carrasco, have him lurking in the 3-hole there. And of the remaining 4, you've got Plutko out of options, so you might have him as a 5. And I think it's a battle between Plesac and Civale for the 4-hole.
When you see Plesac and Civale and even Rodriguez, you look at that and you say, not that they were lucky, but they got great. If you have 3 guys that you bring up from the minors, you're hoping one of them really shines, and they had 2.5 of the 3 did it.
Yeah, I mean the now famous 2016 draft where you were able to get Bieber and Civale and Plesac. And it's just hard to believe you can get 3 impact starters in the same season from the same draft.
And I would think that not many average and better fans that probably never heard of Civale till this year.
Yeah, I hear you. But he was, it was it 4th round for him or 3rd or something. So he was up there. And I really liked what I saw from Civale when he came up. I mean, this guy, and by the way, he's not the only one. Pitchers today in general, Les, they just walk in like they belong. Yeah. And I'm not saying there's an arrogance, but it's a supreme confidence where they don't get rattled. If they're going to get beat, they're not going to get beat because they're nervous or panicking. These guys come in and they know what they're doing.
Here's the other thing that I've noticed covering teams for as long as I have, and you walk into the locker rooms, the size of some of these guys, 6'6", 6'7". You didn't have 6'7" guys 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
And unless the talent has never been as deep in Major League Baseball as it is today.
What, in pitching?
Everywhere you look, there are really good players everywhere. There are youngsters that are knocking on the door. I mean, think about it. You've got a worldwide talent pool like you almost have never had before. Right. I love the state of Major League Baseball on the competitive side. I looked at it last night on the show on TAM, and I see 15 teams that can legitimately say they're contending for a division or a wild card. 5 more that are sneaky good, including the Kluber's Rangers, the Red Sox. Don't count them out, even though it looks like they had a fire sale. So that's 20 out of 30 teams to me that have legitimate playoff hopes. Another 5 fun to watch. You don't expect them to win a lot, but they're going to be fun to watch because of a young core, such as the Blue Jays. And then you have 5 absolutely terrible teams. That's all I can find is 5 cellar dwellers. I mean, legit. 2 of them happen to be in the Central, the Tigers and Royals. And also I threw the Pirates in there. And let me see. Now, the Marlins I have as a fun to watch because they have so much young talent, even though I don't expect them to win a ton. Yeah. But they'll be fun to watch. But I only see 5 terrible teams in MLB this
what
year.
might make the difference in your list would be what the bullpens do and how the managers adapt to the new usage. And here's what you see right now, the bullpen roster. You've seen most of these guys, Brad Hand and Adam-cimber, emmanuel-clase, Hunter Wood. I'm not even sure how Phil pronounces it. Is it Maton? Don't even know.
I believe.
Nick-Wittgren, Oliver-Perez, the lefty-lefty matchup, which won't be as effective as it had been in the past. Karinchak, who can just pound the ball, and James-Hoyt, all part of the bullpen, unless the Indians do something with the bottom of that rotation, the bullpen rotation.
I like the back end of Clase and Karinchak setting up Hand for now. I think you give the nod to the veteran Hand as the closer, but you have 2 100-mile-an-hour guys or close to it. I mean, certainly Clase. You heard Lindor say that the filthiest stuff he's faced ever was from Clase. So I can't wait to see him in an Indians uniform. Karinchak for a full year. Here's what you need, Les. Given that Manfred's foolishness got in with the 3-batter rule, you better have velocity in that bullpen. You can't get away with the slop.
Sneaky.
You need velocity because you need guys who can pitch to at least 3 batters at a time. And what the Indians did with Clase and then presumably Karinchak for the full year, you've had a significant upgrade in velo in the back end of your bullpen.
My guess also is if you're going to face a minimum of 3, you better be striking out one of them.
There you go. I mean, you're exactly right. You have to have guys who are capable of – you have swing and miss stuff. And the best way to have swing and miss stuff is to throw 99 or 100.
And by the way,
not to throw 86 and try to trick you.
But not to overreact. Sometimes being a good relief pitcher is a product of who you're facing in the lineup. It's a little easier if you're facing 8, 9, and 1 than 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, and really, I can't even imagine how difficult it is to be a major league manager in general, okay?
Now they add this.
You add this to the equation. You say, well, guys are going to have to figure out how to handle the bullpen. Yeah, but they're also going to have to figure out, when do I take my starter out? Think about that. 5th inning, 6th inning, 7th inning, you look at the lineup, you say, all right, can I squeeze one more batter out of my starter because the next 3 guys are manageable for this reliever?
Right. And the National League is different because you face the pitcher or a pinch hitter. So you got more managing to do that way.
I don't envy Terry Francona. Now, if anybody can figure it out, it's Francona because he's a master of bullpen manipulation. But to me, this is a top-down adjustment. This is an adjustment with how do you handle your starter as well as your relievers.
Well, one person who won't